74 AD. The Roman 11th Legion pushes through the St. Gothard Pass into southern Germany, driving thousands of cattle to feed the advancing army. Flanking the herds are massive black and tan Molosser dogs, their broad chests breaking through the alpine snow. These Roman drover dogs settled in the town of Das Rote Ville, the Red Tile, which we know today as Rottweil. They are the ancestors of the modern Rottweiler, Canis lupus familiaris, arguably the most misunderstood working dog on Earth. From pulling meat carts over cobblestones to serving as the foundational police dog of the 20th century, this breed is a masterclass in functional biomechanics. I am standing on a Schutzhund training field in Baden-Württemberg with historian Dr. Klaus Weber and biomechanist Dr. Elena Rostov.
The lineage of the Rottweiler Metzgerhund, or butcher's dog, is entirely dictated by utility. In the 19th century, cattle dealers in Rottweil needed a dog with enough mass to physically block a 2,000-pound bull and enough endurance to trot 30 kilometers a day. When rail transport banned cattle driving in the 1880s, the breed nearly went extinct. By 1900, only one female remained in Rottweil itself. The Allgemeiner Deutscher Rottweiler Club, or ADRK, formed in 1921 to salvage the genetics. They instituted a draconian breeding standard. Form must follow function. A male must weigh 50 kilograms and stand 68 centimeters at the withers, prioritizing dense bone structure over cosmetic appeal.
That bone structure supports one of the most formidable biomechanical systems in the canine world. A mature male Rottweiler generates a bite force of approximately 328 pounds per square inch, nearly half the crushing power of a spotted hyena, Crocuta crocuta, and significantly higher than a German Shepherd. This power stems from their brachycephalic adjacent skull geometry. The zygomatic arches are extremely wide, anchoring massive temporalis muscles, while the shortened broad muscle acts like a lever to maximize pressure at the molars. But their traditional herding technique rarely utilized the mouse. Instead, they employed body bumping, throwing their 50-kilo mass against a straying cow's shoulder to physically redirect the livestock without breaking the skin.
That behavioral restraint is the hallmark of the true Rottweiler temperament. The ADRK standard demands a wait-and-see attitude. Unlike lighter herding breeds that react instantly to environmental stimuli, a properly bred Rottweiler processes a threat before engaging. We see this in the Zuchttauglichkeitsprüfung, the German breed suitability test. A dog must navigate a crowd of strangers, ignore sudden loud noises, and then instantly defend the handler from a simulated attack, only to release the bite the millisecond the handler commands it. Failure at any stage permanently removes the dog from the gene pool. This psychological switch from passive observer to explosive kinetic weapon and back again is their defining cognitive trait.
Physiologically, executing that explosive transition requires specialized anatomy. The Rottweiler possesses a unique double coat, a straight, coarse outer layer for weather resistance, and a dense undercoat, primarily on the neck and thighs. Their thermoregulation is highly adapted for the damp European cold, making them susceptible to heat stroke in temperatures above 25 degrees Celsius. Furthermore, their gait relies on a specialized trot. The angulation of the stifle and hock joints in the hind legs provides massive forward propulsion, transferring kinetic energy through a perfectly straight, rigid top line. When moving at 12 kilometers per hour, their paw prints form a straight line under the center of their body, maximizing efficiency over long distances.
Today, their working environment has shifted from the cattle trails of Swabia to disaster zones and tactical operations. While the Belgian Malinois, Canis lupus familiaris, has largely overtaken them in military roles due to sheer speed, the Rottweiler excels in specific search and rescue applications. At the rubble piles of the Oklahoma City bombing and Ground Zero, their physical mass allowed them to shift debris that lighter breeds could not. However, their primary ecosystem is now the Schutzhund, or IGP, competition field. Here, tracking, obedience, and protection phases test their ancestral drives. A dog must track a human scent laid 2 hours prior over 1,000 paces of varied terrain, demanding immense olfactory concentration.
The greatest threat to the species is no longer industrialization, but poor breeding practices and anatomical vulnerabilities. The breed's average lifespan has compressed to 9 to 10 years. Osteosarcoma, a highly aggressive bone cancer, accounts for nearly 40% of Rottweiler mortalities, often striking the appendicular skeleton. Additionally, early spaying and neutering before skeletal maturity, specifically the closure of the tibial growth plates at 18 months, has been shown to drastically increase the incidence of cranial cruciate ligament ruptures. Conservation of the breed now relies on international registries enforcing health screenings for hip and elbow dysplasia and pushing back against the showing trend of breeding overly massive, hyperbrachycephalic dogs that cannot perform their historical working functions.
3 distinct takeaways define the Rottweiler. First, their history is one of pure utility. The Metzgerhund survived because it could move cattle and pull carts with the torque of a small tractor. Second, their biomechanics, from the 328 psi bite force to their energy-efficient trotting gait, are engineered for sustained power rather than sprint speed. Finally, the breed's survival depends on strict genetic stewardship. The wait-and-see temperament requires rigorous testing and responsible ownership to prevent the loss of their working heritage. I want to thank Dr. Klaus Weber and Dr. Elena Ristova for their expertise. From the Roman Alpine passes to modern search and rescue rebel, the Rottweiler remains a testament to purposeful canine engineering.